If a nuclear war broke out between Russia and the United States, what would happen to you, personally? Not the government. Not the military. You. Your home. Your family. Your city. Your future. Today, we're walking through a realistic, step-by-step breakdown of how a nuclear exchange would unfold and exactly how it would impact ordinary Americans. Stay with me, because the first 5 minutes after the first detonation may be the most terrifying moment in human history. You're at home, at work, driving, scrolling your phone. Suddenly, an emergency alert pops up on your screen. Imminent nuclear threat. Take cover immediately. People freeze. Some panic. Cars slam on their brakes. Stores go silent. If you live near a major city, a military base, a port, a nuclear facility, or a strategic command center, you have minutes, maybe seconds, to react. Cell networks jam instantly. GPS becomes unreliable. Traffic explodes as people try to flee. But most Americans won't get far. The roads become a parking lot of abandoned cars and chaos. Your first instinct is to call your loved ones, but the lines are dead. You are completely on your own, with a clock ticking down. The world you know is about to end, and the decisions you make in these next few moments will determine if you live or die. Russia's nuclear strategy is public and blunt. Their first wave of attacks would target key areas to cripple the United States in a single, devastating blow. First are the major cities. Think New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, and Seattle. These aren't just dots on a map. They are centers of population, economy, and global influence. Destroying them means striking at the heart of the nation. Next are the military targets. This includes NORAD headquarters deep in the mountains, Air Force bases where bombers are scrambled, ICBM silos scattered across the heartland, and the naval ports and submarine bases that house America as a nuclear deterrent. These are the places where retaliation would come from, so they have to be eliminated first. Finally, they would hit our infrastructure, power grids, oil refineries, telecommunication hubs, and major transportation choke points. Like bridges and rail yards, the goal isn't just destruction, it's paralysis. They want to plunge the country into darkness and silence, cutting off communication, power, and the ability to move resources. If you live near any of these areas, you are in a primary blast zone. So what do you personally experience during that first detonation? It depends entirely on how close you are. If you are within the fireball zone, you won't see it coming. Everything within several miles of ground zero simply disappears, vaporized in a fraction of a second. There is no pain, no sound, just instant oblivion. If you're a bit further out, in the blast wave zone, you have about 3 to 8 seconds. First, you see a flash brighter than the sun. Then comes the shock wave. Windows shatter into a million deadly shards. Buildings collapse as if they're made of sand. Cars are flipped and tossed like toys. Anything not reinforced with steel and concrete is flattened. If you're outside the main blast radius, but still close enough, the experience is horrific. You see that silent, blinding flash. Your exposed skin burns instantly. The shockwave hits you like a physical wall, knocking you to the ground. You are alive, but injured and disoriented, and the real danger has not even begun. And if you're far away, maybe 100 miles or more, you see the sky turn white, then a brilliant, terrifying orange, then a sickening black. Minutes later, you hear a deep, continuous rumble, like a mountain collapsing in the distance. And your first thought is this happening everywhere? If the initial blast doesn't get you, the fallout can. Fallout is not some mysterious cloud. It's radioactive dust and ash, particles of earth, buildings, and everything else sucked up into the mushroom cloud and irradiated. And it rides the wind. Here's what you would face. In the first hour, this radioactive ash begins to drift down like a strange black snow. It settles on everything. Cars, houses, trees, and people. Pets start to panic. People begin to cough as the air thickens. The sky stays dark, even in the middle of the day. Within the first 6 hours, radiation levels skyrocket to their most lethal. Anyone outside without proper shelter is receiving a deadly dose of radiation. There is nowhere safe to run. By the first 24 hours, the country is in chaos. Highways are unusable, littered with abandoned cars and debris. Hospitals, if they are still standing, are overwhelmed and without power. Most emergency responders are either victims themselves or completely unable to respond. The personal impact is staggering. There is no clean water coming from your tap, no electricity to power your home, no internet, no phone service. The grocery stores are either destroyed or looted. You can't get medications. There are no police, no fire department, and no ambulances coming to help. What most people don't realize is this: fallout does not kill you instantly. It poisons you slowly. The first signs are nausea and vomiting. Then comes bleeding, weakness, and eventual collapse. Your survival depends entirely on shelter. If your home has a basement, your chances increase dramatically. If not, you must improvise fast. Pile dirt, books, furniture, concrete blocks, anything dense between you and the outside world. Most Americans have absolutely no idea how to do this. If you survive the blast and manage to shelter from the fallout, you now face the harshest week of your life. On days 1 and 2, the cities that were hit continued to burn. Thick, black smoke blankets the continent, blocking out the sun. Food shortages begin immediately. People who were unprepared start fighting over bottled water and canned goods. On days 3 and 4, the most intense radiation begins to decrease. You might be able to leave your shelter for very short periods, just a few minutes at a time. But communication is gone. You have no idea which cities still exist, who is in charge, or what is happening outside your immediate area. By days 5 through 7, whatever is left of the US government might start broadcasting on emergency frequencies. They'll instruct survivors where to go for aid. But travel is almost entirely on foot. Gasoline is useless without power for the pumps, and the roads are destroyed or blocked. You slowly begin to realize that the world you knew, the one you woke up in just a week ago, is never coming back. Even if you're far from any targets, even if the fallout completely misses your region, you will still face enormous, life-altering consequences. The global economy would instantly collapse. There would be no international trade, which means no medical supply chain, no digital banking, and no replacement parts for anything. Without electricity, there's no refrigeration. Without fuel, there's no transportation. Massive food shortages would become the new reality for everyone. Socially, the country would fracture. We'd see mass migrations of desperate survivors moving out of irradiated zones. Lawlessness would become rampant as people fight for scarce resources. The military would enforce martial law and designated emergency zones. If you survive the first month, you'll live in a country transformed forever. Your job, your income, your daily routines, all gone. Your home may be unlivable. Your city may be abandoned. Nuclear war doesn't just destroy buildings. It destroys entire systems of life. A nuclear war between the US and Russia would not be a distant event happening on a map. It would hit your world, your home, your daily life, instantly and brutally. The goal of this video isn't to create fear. It's to build awareness. Because the more people who understand what nuclear war truly means for them personally, the harder we will all fight to prevent it from ever happening. If you want a follow-up video, like how to actually survive nuclear fallout, or the most likely cities to be hit first, tell me in the comments. This is Red Sign Alert. Stay aware, stay prepared, and keep watching.